everybody, happy Tuesday. I thought today in the studio we'd do a project from a book that I was published in back in 2010, 30-minute earrings. So, got this marked here. We're going to make just a simple pair of little hoop earrings, dangle earrings, made from found metals. I used license plates in this project. So I'm going to gather up some materials and we'll get started. I've gathered a piece of license plate. And I've got this ring shank template that I'm going to use, but you could use any kind of shape templates or ruler, or just wing it. I'm a big fan of just winging it. Let's see, I'm going to trace this out. Ooh, let's line it right up against that, and then we just make one straight cut for two sides. Okay. And then I love using these joist chin, I think scissors. Yes, joist chin. That you can just get at a kitchen store or online. They're great for cutting metal. And if you have a bench shear, it would make real quick work of this as well. Or a jeweler saw, just take a little more time. There we go. Two shapes, pretty quick. Okay, and now we're going to file the edges of these because that is sharp. And I keep a separate file for when I use license plates, tin cans, found metals. Okay, and then a sandpaper pad. Okay, now we're going to put a couple of tube rivets on each end of the cutout shape, and I've just got some brass tubing that I bought at the hardware store. And I happen to have these Swanstrom pliers that punch little holes that actually fits this diameter of tubing, but if you don't have these, you can use a drill bit. You just have to find the right size for the tubing to fit into. Let's punch this and make sure I don't go through the sides. Okay. There's one. Ooh, and two. Got that one a little close. Let me bring that down. There we go. Okay, now we're going to cut our little rivets out of the brass tubing, and if you have this tube cutting jig, it makes it a whole lot easier. And you really only want enough tubing to just barely come out on each side. Probably like that. Luckily, when this arm is closed, it's just the right length. So I keep this shut all the way. And then just follow down the guide. just lost that one. Let's cut another one. There we go. And do that 4 times. Okay, I've got my little brass rivet cut. I'm just going to drop the license plate over it, and I'm using a centering punch and a mallet. I'm just going to give it a couple of taps to start the flare, flip it over, and repeat. And I'm going to do that a couple of times on each side. And if you've got a little ball peen hammer, you can switch to that. And you want to just kind of tap on the outer edge of the rivet, and that'll flare it out even more. And just goes around it slowly. And then I'll take the flat side, give it a couple of good taps. And then you've got your rivet. And just repeat on the other 3 circles. Okay, I've got all 4 brass rivets in place. When I first started making jewelry, especially before I got a torch, I primarily used rivets for joining pieces together, and then used tabs and foldovers. It really makes you become creative with how you put pieces together. I really love working with cold connections. Next, I'm going to form these into a hoop. And there's all manner of ways to do that. I've got a mandrel here that I could wrap it around. Pliers. You could use just a tube or anything that has the shape that you want. You could do this and get kind of a neat oblong oval shape. I think I'm just going to use the mandrel over here. And just kind of slowly move it down. So you get the shape that you want. Let's see, those look pretty close together. Same size. Now we're going to make the ear wire. I've got some 21 gauge gold filled wire that I'm going to use for these. And I've cut 2 3-inch pieces. I'm going to work harden it a little bit so that they're not too soft, have a little more spring. And I'm just going to take 2 pliers, flat nose pliers, and twist. Just do that a couple of times. It'll work hard in the metal. Okay. That feels good. And I'm going to take some round nose pliers and make a loop. And it might take you a couple of tries to figure out the right size of loop, because you want it to clear the top portion of the hoop there so that it swings freely. I'm going to make a fairly big one. Let's see how that works. Let's see, that side's a little closer. Let's do that. Okay, yeah, that'll move. And this might be hard to see, but I'm just going to kind of hold that at the base and then wrap this little extra bit of wire around. Okay, I've got that attached. And now we're going to bend it around the same shape that we did the hoop. And then just bend the little end up. And always sand the edge of that too. You don't want that sharp going in your ear. You can even hammer it a little bit to a little extra hardening. And there you've got a little hoop earring. Pretty simple and super lightweight. I'll do a few variations to show you too, some other ideas. Actually, I have one that I did years ago, and it was just 2 circles. I left them joined in the middle, folded it, and then ran the ear wire through it, and put a rivet at the bottom to close it. I thought it was pretty cool. Here's another variation you can do on the earring if you don't even want to bend it into a hoop. Just put one rivet on one end and attach an ear wire. Just a cute little modern graphic earring. Kind of fun. And I thought it'd be fun to show you some of my stash here. Other ideas of metals you could use. Those old drinking cups from the 50s, or I'm not sure what year. Metal dollhouse. Tin cans, license plates, animal cookies, tea tins, lots of pretty colors. All kinds of fun things you could use. Okay, we thought we'd have a little fun this Tuesday and do a little giveaway to one of our subscribers. So if you're a subscriber to our YouTube channel, the first person to leave a comment that they'd like these earrings, we're going to send them to you. And it has to be here on the YouTube channel, not on my Facebook page. See you next week.